Hi, my name's Debbie McCall. I'm going to show you a nice recipe today of falafel, which we're going to put some nice pita bread with salad. It's got some lovely ingredients in front of me. I've done some onion already chopped up and garlic. We've got another clove of garlic to go in. We've got some dried cumin, some dried coriander, some dried cayenne pepper and some mixed parsley. I'll put that together. So mix that all together, that's going to go through it. Also a little tiny bit of flour and an egg, which is going to bind it. And our lovely chickpeas, which are here. Now I've drained them and rinsed them. That's the kind of chickpeas I've used. You can get them in lots of shops, but they're very, very reasonably priced. So that's all our main ingredients. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop a little more piece of garlic. Obviously there's lots of other things you may be able to put through this as well. Any other herbs and spices you might fancy. Maybe chilli, or depending on your taste. I'm going to cut this quite fine because I want it quite small all the way through. And what we're going to do then is we're going to fry this off to make it a little bit soft because we don't want it hard through the falafel. Other ways you could do is you could use some garlic paste or maybe the lazy garlic. There's a few different ways you can actually do it. I'm going to pop that in the bowl. Now if you notice I put things in bowls, that might look a little bit time consuming, but actually has all the ingredients ready for you when you're going to start to cook. So there we go. So we've got our lovely onion and garlic there. We need a colander, we need a bowl, lots of little bowls, chopping board and a knife. And when we go over to the stove, we're going to use a frying pan. And we're going to use this today, we're going to use a fry light, which is a little bit lighter to use, a little bit healthier. You can use other oils, but this is a really good one to use. So we're going to fry this off and we're going to bring all the ingredients back together. Once it's actually cooked in the oven, we're going to add a few things. So we're going to have it filled with some pita bread, some nice wholemeal pita bread. We've got some salad here, so we've got some, I'm going to chop this in a second. Some iceberg lettuce, cucumber, tomato, and there's a little bit extra here to make it a little bit smoother, some low-fat mayonnaise. You could use yoghurt or anything else you fancy using that, maybe some chilli sauce. Okay, so next thing we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the cooker. We're going to start to cook this off for about 5 minutes so it goes soft before we start adding it to the chickpeas. So I'd like to go over to the cooker now. So give this a nice spray, cover the pan. A couple of seconds to get hot. Okay. So there's our onion and garlic. So you want to have a little bit of colour on that, but not too much colour on it. And then when you use the stove as well, to always keep hold of the pan handle. This is going to take about 5 minutes or so just to get a little bit soft. Okay, so the onions are now ready with the garlic, so we're going to pop that into the bowl with the chickpeas. Now what we're going to do is, I've got to mention this before, we do need a masher. So we're going to mash the chickpeas and the onion together. Obviously this is quite warm at the moment, but it will cool down by the time we've done this. So you can just see how the chickpeas are mashing there. We want them nice and soft. So it makes a form of a paste. So this is your basic ingredients now. It's your onion, your garlic and your chickpeas. And it's now where we start to add all our lovely flavours into it. Okay, so now we've got the herbs we had before. So we've got the cumin, coriander, the cayenne pepper and the parsley. So I'm going to pop that, and you can see now this is going to add all your lovely flavour to it. Mix that through as well. And we want to bind the mixture together, so our binder today is going to be an egg. So I'm just going to get the egg now. Crack it and give it a whisk. excess chickpea mixture. Because we don't want to waste any of it. So now we've done this, the onion and the garlic has cooled down considerably. Now this is something you can do with the children as well, is get this ready, because now we're going to form it into some nice little balls to go in the oven. Just pop those in. I'm going to pop the egg in. Obviously egg is liquid, so just to mix that together, I'm going to add a little tiny bit of flour. So a little tiny bit of flour here. Mix that through there. You can see the mixture come together. If you didn't want to make the falafel into the little balls to go into the pita bread, you can actually make little burgers as well. There's a nice recipe for that. So make sure that your hands are clean. I've obviously washed mine before and I've washed them again. So now we're going to get a tray here. My advice to you as well is to put some grease-proof paper on the tray as well, so the actual falafel balls don't stick to it. Just give me 1 second while I move these. So now this is where it forms little shapes. So we only want a little small, about that size there. Might feel quite liquidy at the moment, but when it goes in the oven, it will dry up. So this makes about 8, but if you wanted to do more, all you would need to do is use another can of chickpeas with it. Okay, our falafels are now ready to go in the oven, either at 200 degrees C or gas mark 6, for about 20 to 25 minutes. I would recommend though that you turn them halfway through so they brown on all sides. I'm going to pop these in the oven now. So now the falafels are in there, we're going to start preparing our fillings. We've got some pita breads here. What I'm going to do with the pita bread is I'm going to pop them in the toaster for a couple of minutes just so we can open them properly. I've got some iceberg lettuce, some tomato, cucumber and some low-fat mayonnaise. Again, as I said earlier, you might want to use yogurt or a chilli sauce. So first of all, I'm going to get this sauce. This has all been washed. I'm just going to slice the iceberg lettuce. In the bowl. You see why we're using the bowls, and it just makes that little tiny bit easier. Okay, cucumber. Slice the cucumber off. Obviously you could use any other salad you wanted. You use some grated carrot, celery, spring onions, anything you particularly like. It just bulks it out with the falafel. And a nice juicy tomatoes. Put those back in. And if you do with the children can pick their own veggies or salad they wanted, and they could actually fill the pittas themselves. And that way everybody gets what they want in their lunch. Okay, so there we go. We've got our iceberg lettuce, cucumber, tomato, mayonnaise, and our pita bread. Okay, falafels are now ready. Beautiful, aren't they? A couple of pita breads. So I'll put them in the toaster just so you can actually open them like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fill them. We've got some iceberg lettuce, and again, as I said earlier, you can put in what you fancy yourself. Some iceberg lettuce, some cucumber, some tomato, and then a couple of the falafels. So we've got 1, 2 falafels there, and I'm going to put a little tiny bit of mayonnaise on top of that, just to give a little bit of sauce. And there you have it, a lovely pita-filled falafel. Just go back quickly over the ingredients we've used. We've used chickpeas, we've used all the different herbs and spices, salad, we have the egg, we've got the mayonnaise, we've got the pita bread, all the different ingredients there. As I say, it makes four pita breads, we've got a couple more to go there. Or if you want, you can make the burgers. Now, it's a very cheap recipe to make. The chickpeas I bought were actually 29 pence a tin. They came from one of the local supermarkets. Depends where you can actually go shopping. Obviously, you need to buy the herbs and spices, but you can use them again in other recipes, and salad for your choice. So I hope you've enjoyed the recipe today. Do enjoy it and stay safe.